three significant achievements, I think. First of all, are service improvement. So we have improved the back office. So an example of that is we now pay 95% of our invoices on time. We have introduced a citizens account so people can see how the organisation is operating from their perspective, so they can join up services around them as individuals. So that's improving services from the citizen's point of view. So that's improved services. Secondly, we've saved money. We've now, to date, we've saved, of that 1 billion we targeted, we've now saved 150 million pounds. We're on target for our 1 billion pounds worth of savings. And I think more importantly, so we're now 4 years into the programme, business transformation is now in the black. We capitalised much of the investment, so in cash flow terms we're now making a net contribution to the council's revenue budget, which in the current financial climate is really valuable. And the third thing, which I think is something I'm particularly proud of, is we developed a methodology called CHAMPS2 to support transformational change. CHAMPS stands for Change Management in the Public Sector, and what it is it tries to operationalise that change management process, and it does it end to end. So it takes it from your defining a vision of where you want to take a service to actually realising the benefits at the end of that process, to achieving strategic outcomes. So it's really, I think, a toolkit which tries to take the magic out of change, and I think that's incredibly valuable. We have actually put that in the public domain, so it is available on a website, www.champs2.info, and we don't make a charge for it, so anyone can use it and download it. We hope to create a worldwide community of people who are using CHAMPS2 to make changes in the public. First of all, it's getting the governance right within the organisation of the council. It's making sure that the political leadership, the managerial leadership take ownership and keep hands-on throughout the process. That they direct it. That also means that they are involved in its success. So that there isn't any tendency at all for them to try and walk away. They're involved with the process, and I think lots of IT project failures come about because they're run as IT projects. And when they become a little bit sticky, there is no one at the top saying, "I'll sort this out." So you end up with the poor head of IT having to take the responsibility. The second success factor is putting the right partnerships in place. So creating our Service Birmingham partnership, but also the people that are involved with that, people like SAP, people like HCL Axon, a wide range of partners who are there to provide specific skill sets to help support Birmingham on its journey. Having said that, I always say that transformation is Birmingham's responsibility. This is not something that somehow somebody is doing it to us. We want to do it to ourselves. The third factor is that CHAMPS2 methodology, that having an approach which we can learn and get better at. Far too often you find that somehow you do change and that all the lessons you've learned through that process are lost. What we really want is a way to create capacity in our own organisations to do change. So we're not just involved with just doing business as usual, slightly better than last year. We are, when you look to the future, the public sector is going to be defined by its ability to do significant change. We can't stay as we are. And that's true across the world. There might be different drivers in the UK because of our financial position, but if you look across the world, you can see all the same drivers pushing people forward. The need for greater transparency, the need for greater accountability. That is going to drive change, and actually having a way to operationalise that change, I think, is incredibly important. I think at the end of 10 years, I think we will have overachieved against our goals, because I think we will have achieved, we talked about getting a £1 billion saving. It's probably going to be nearer to £1.5 billion worth of productivity improvements over the 10 years. I think we will have embedded within the culture of the organisation that approach to change. I think we will have, most importantly, a much better, held in much higher regard by our customers for the services we deliver as an organisation. And I think that sense of being valued as a public service is really what we're trying to do throughout this process. And last but by no means least, we will be a more efficient organisation. I think we've been very fortunate in Birmingham to have political leadership actually looking beyond the next election. So that has been very successful. But we've also tried to engage with the opposition so that it's not just seen as the administration's responsibility, it's seen as a whole council responsibility, so that any potential future administration, though they may not like the detail of what we're doing, I think will probably accept the sort of principles of what we're doing, of doing organisational change. And I think what has been really important when we've been dealing with the political level in Birmingham is I never talk about technology. I always talk about business change. The technology, I would suspect that probably if you asked probably more than half our politicians and half our senior managers, they actually wouldn't know that we're running SAP. Why should they? What's important is what SAP delivers in supporting the change programme. And I think that we tend to focus on the technology as IT people, not on what the technology can do. And I think that's been a failing of technology people for some considerable time. We use technology as a sort of technical add-on to business as usual instead of an enable strategic change, and I think we've got to change our view of it. That doesn't mean, of course, that the IT can be left alone. It has to be very much strongly focused on delivering. It's almost like it's got to be transparent. The IT should be there and work. When it doesn't, then yes, you should be accountable for that. But actually, what it can do to the business is where you get the real benefit out of it.